Hello everyone, BLB here, and welcome to another episode of Labcraft. Now, there is so much stuff that I would like to be able to get done today, and I don't know if I'm going to get to it all, but I know there's a few projects that are definitely more immediate, and they're going to have to be taken care of right away. Uh, but first, I wanted to show you guys, I did complete the bamboo farm off camera, like I said. Look at it in all of its glory. Uh, I had to make quite a few changes in this in comparison to the sugarcane farms from the last episode. One thing is I didn't put the water sources here in the bamboo farm because you don't need them. Um, it is 14 wide rather than the 12 wide of the ones up above, and that was just because I didn't do it in increments of 4. I did explain in the last episode I pushed it the entire limit of the flying machine itself, which is 14 blocks wide. And then another thing I did for this that was quite a bit different is if we look back here, you can see a very a much bigger collection system. We got 4 hopper mine carts just for this one field of bamboo, and that was necessary, um, especially if it's grown up this tall. You like the cart would go through and it wouldn't even pick up half of it. And so I added in a second one. And well, I mean, it wasn't picking up half of it. So I still had to add in more, and so eventually I just made it so there's 4 of them. This will guarantee they get everything, and these carts are triggered whenever that machine gets all the way across the field. See, because they don't have as far to go to get into the field, so I mean, I figured why not? That would probably be the better route to do it. But this also made me realize that when the sugarcane farm is grown to its full height, uh, the collection system isn't really picking up everything there either. So I am going to have to add in more hopper mine carts in those farms. There's 2 of them up there. I seriously got to do something about a slime farm here. Those guys are always over there. Um, but like I said, there is something that requires my more immediate attention today. Guys, look at this. There's 4 hopper mine carts that go underneath this field, and they still didn't get it all. How is that? How is that a thing? They were all 4 of them filled up to the brim. This is a very good bamboo farm. I need better collection. What do I put in? 6? Do I have to put in 6 hopper mine carts for this? And I'm gonna have to increase the storage. Uh, there's 2 double chests. They're both filling up like this. Uh, 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 geez. I'll have to put in a double chest for each hopper minecart or something. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, there's still stuff floating in the middle there. Well, it couldn't have been full hopper. I don't know why that stuff got missed. But like I said, there is something that more requires my more immediate attention today. Oh, you slime! Yeah, see, first order of business has to be this. This is kind of the centerpiece of my entire base, right? The ice farm. It supplies one of my businesses, and I mean it's the biggest build on the surface. It's very eye catching, but there's a problem with it. And I think I've explained this before in past episodes, but every now and again this will happen. The ice will freeze over in front of the observer, but not actually detect the fact that was a block change. And I have to come up here and do that and manually break it out so that way the farm gets back to its normal operations. I don't want to have to keep doing that. I'm thinking there's a way that I could make it automatically fire these pistons a couple of times a day on every single one of these farms, so that way even whenever it jams up, it'll automatically clear out the jams so I don't have to keep coming up here to do it myself. Now, my hope was that I could put in something like this, just as simple as a daylight sensor feeding into redstone dust, which is being viewed by an observer. And if you notice, them pistons just kind of spontaneously fired there. And the reason that is because the strength of the redstone signal coming out of the daylight sensor is relative to the position of the sun itself in the game. So multiple times a day, that redstone power output is going to change. And that observer detects every time that it changes. So it'll send out its own individual signal during those changes to the pistons. Like these pistons are meant to represent the pistons in the farm. Um, and this was the very first thing I came up with. I'm not sure if I want to do it like this way or maybe just do a hopper clock because this does happen very often, like more often than I thought it did. I thought it was like maybe a couple changes a day, but I've been sitting here. Well, I made it sunrise right after I built this thing, and I mean it's probably gone off 20 times since then. I don't want it to be continuously going off because then that's going to slow down ice production as well. Like we only want it to happen every so often, every couple of minutes in real life. Well, I suppose one possible option is just to put the observer further away. Um, you see, I have the length of the redstone signal, like the full potential of it, laid out here, and then pistons to show me, well, just to give me a better idea of when the power actually reaches that far. And if I just put the observer, well, a little bit further away from the daylight sensor, it's not going to detect as many block updates because, well, it's only going to change the power source of that particular redstone dust at a couple of times a day. So it's like when it's getting close to noon or so, you're going to be up in here somewhere. So I'm thinking if I put like the the daylight sensor, like I don't know, 9 or 10 blocks away from the observer that's going to detect the signal and send them into the pistons. Well, it would only do it a couple of times a day. It wouldn't be all day long while the sun's going up and coming back down. Of course, we skip over nights, so that's not really a factor in this. But the sun's still changing positions. Of course, the issue then becomes where do I put it? Well, I suppose this would be one way to compact the whole thing. If we just subtract another signal from the output of that, well, that signal will never reach its full strength. Um, here's a good example. You see, this is a comparator pulling a signal from that daylight sensor, and it reaches all the way to the end of the line of pistons. But I'm subtracting another signal from that main signal with this barrel full of emeralds here. It doesn't have to be emeralds, it could be any item in there. But just subtracting that from that main output, and you can see only 3 of these pistons are extended. It's the same main power source. And that's because we're subtracting a whole lot of power from that with this um, little thing on the side. So that means, well, at most, it seems like we're only going to reach a power signal of 3 during the day. So it's only going to change once when it turns on, once when it goes to 2, when it goes to 3, again when it goes to 2, and then back to 1, and then off. So yeah, it's not going to be like crazy in the mornings and nights where it's like going off every couple of seconds. It's just going to be the couple of times a day I'm looking for. Of course, this still doesn't really solve the problem of where to put it. Well, not only did I manage to get the circuit in there, but also it's barely noticeable. I mean, you can tell that something's there, but it doesn't look completely out of place or hideous. I managed to kind of work it into the shape of the farm itself. Even the pillars, you notice I put barrels on the top parts of those logs, and only one of those is functional. I mean, you can see the comparator coming out of it, and I'm not really worried about covering them up. I don't know, maybe I can do it with trapdoors or something later on. But my point is, well, I guess trapdoors won't work because the daylight sensor would be powering them. My point is, I got it in there, and it doesn't look too bad. If we come up top here, we can see that I did have to take away a few chunks here to put in some redstone dust. Not a big deal. Doesn't look hideous. I mean, we could see plenty of redstone up here anyways, so it wasn't like changing much. But that's only two of these farms. I have two over here to do, and then four more over there to do. I suppose a smart idea would have been making it so the same circuit could go to all four farms in each module, but I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't have looked as good. uh, See, if we're looking at it from down here, I mean, it just looks like almost like a decorative decision that's built like that. I did make sure like everything looks structurally supported and everything, so yeah, I'd have to say I kind of like it. I gotta do it three more times. Well, it took a little bit longer than I initially anticipated, but I did get one of these circuits built into every single one of these farms. So now they will not only never jam up, but they should, in theory, produce a little bit faster because those pistons are harvesting more often than they were before. I mean, before we were just waiting on the ice to freeze over the observers, and then everything would harvest. Now, even if it's just like some stuff in the middle and those ones on the outside haven't frozen over yet, it's still going to harvest those ones in the middle. Um, so, it's like it's upgrades like this that really make like building farms in survival Minecraft kind of more fun because you start to get a little bit more technical. Like this is a long time build that's been it's been fully operational for a while now, but I'm still finding ways to improve it. Um, so I don't know, like this is pretty cool. As you can see, I got a harvest now because it is filled up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then see what else I can't get into today. Well, now that the ice farm is taken care of, I think I want to draw my attention to this entrance here. I mean, yeah, we turn around this way and everything looks great. It looks great looking in that direction. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I feel like I could add some detail in over here. But there's a cattle farm and a wool farm right in the middle of everything, and I'm annoyed with it. I'm annoyed with it at this point. So I started clearing this area out before to move the cows down here, and well, I started continued working on it, I guess. I'm going to move this back one wall, maybe two, just so, or one, yeah, one layer or two, just so we can have a nice wide walkway around where the cows are going to be. But they're going to be down in these holes. I think I'm going to switch this floor out with slabs, maybe. I can't decide. Um, but yeah, this is going to be like my cow farm in Endercraft, or the one I did a tutorial for. It's all the same thing, but I'm going to do this one just slightly different. We're going to have our baby cows washing down into another channel, and then they're all going to go into the kill trap as usual. But I'm not going to like leave like an opening where I can go down there and kill the cows myself. I'm just going to put in the lava trap, the lava kill situation, to where whenever the cows grow up, they'll grow into lava and get cooked. And then like I don't want to have to come down here. Like I kind of want everything to be on the same level. So I think I'm gonna have maybe some sort of a dropper elevator or a bubble tube sending those items up, and then hopefully have a chest in this general area somewhere. You want to know what problem I've been having lately? I've been running out of cobblestone, of all things. Stone, sure, I got stone galore. Cobble. I have to grind for cobble. Oh, something's gonna have to be done about that at some point. Okay, so I have gone ahead and just dug out underneath these stalls, we'll call them, the holes that I'm gonna stuff the cows in. I can show you underneath down here. just water streams all leading down into that pocket right there. And you can see there's one square of lava. It's held up by buttons right there in the corner. So the babies can fall down there safely. Some of them might hit the lava on the way down. It's not a big deal. Um, but they can fall down there safely. And whenever they grow up, well, they're going to grow into that lava. They're going to cook. They're going to drop their things. And then them hoppers you see way down there in the bottom, well, they lead into an auto dropper, which is feeding into this here bubble tube. So all my items are going to be popping out right here. Obviously, this isn't going to be the end collection system. I'm going to have this feeding into a hopper, but I figure right now before I close everything in over here, I should probably get the cows in and make sure this is working all right. Okay, the cows are all in, and I even went ahead and did a little bit of decorating in here. Um, you see, I got the half slabs here. Those are mainly to stop me from falling down in those holes. But I made them look like they were kind of hanging from the ceiling there with the end rods. I thought about using chains for that, but I don't know. The end rods kind of light the place, and I wanted it to seem like a rigid structure. I don't want it to look like something that should swing if I run into it. Uh, as you can tell, I did a little bit of decorating in here. Like, pretty much this whole cave, or the whole ravine, needs, like, texture variation. I still need to do that. Um, so I'll do a lot more of that in here. But, I just started. I haven't gotten into the details just yet. We do have a bubble tube here, coming up from down below, and it's gonna shoot up through here. We can actually see the stuff come through and into that water stream. Then it comes down into a hopper into here. Now, all of this leather didn't come from the farm alone, and neither did the heads. This is supposed to be a cow head. Uh, I just transferred those over from the other farm. But the steak, all the cooked beef that's in here, yes, that has been produced by this farm. So all I got to do is just come in here every so often and feed the cows. And, well, that'll produce steak, and I can just come back and pick that up every now and again. I also increased the size of the wheat farm. Well, actually, just added another one the same size. And, well, that's because I'm feeding a lot more cows now, and I'm going to be feeding them on a regular basis so that way my food supply doesn't run out. Eventually, I plan to switch to golden carrots, and I have plans on how I can do that, but that's going to be further down the road, I think. And would you look here? My wool farm has been removed. Of course, there is still the issue of the ever-growing chest monster here. I think at some point I'm going to just move it up against the wall until I can get a proper storage system put in, which I still don't even know where I'm going to do that. But, sheep has been moved. He's been moved down here, and as you can see, he's not in a farm right now. Oh, look. Cow farm at work. I have him in a pen. Uh, these are what the farms are going to look like when they're done. So, like, I'm going to have one for every color, I think. If I could get all 16 colors, just make a long hallway of these modules with sheep in them. Different color sheep in each one. And then we can have the items feed directly into barrels so I can hide everything underneath the floor. Well, it's, same as the farm that was up there. We got a hopper minecart underneath the grass block here, so that's feeding into hoppers that are feeding into that dropper. Then we got this auto dropper circuit, which is going to feed those items into the barrel. So that way I can hide the barrels, or hide all the redstone, hide the hoppers, hide pretty much everything. The only thing you're going to see is that dispenser up top here, and I think, I don't know, it looks pretty cool. But no matter what, I'm going to need at least one more sheep to get started with this process. Of course, I got to find all the colors too. So, I mean, that's gonna be a whole another mission in itself, I think. Oh, look, I found a baby one. It's all alone. Don't worry, baby. I'll take care of you. I'm gonna have one of these flowers as well. Maybe take a couple. Okay, let's go. And as I ride off with my baby sheep in tow, well, in boat, um, I think I'm gonna just call this episode a wrap because next thing I gotta do is breed up a bunch of sheep, basically one at a time right now, and build those modules and slowly fill them in. And well, I gotta make sure I have the colors to do it. So yeah, I gotta. That part's gonna be a pain, but at least I can get them started and then just kind of build and fill it up as I go. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this episode up. Uh, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button, and if you're interested in seeing more from me, consider subscribing as well. I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching, and wish you all a wonderful day. I don't know where the gravel came from.